welcome. We are so thankful that you guys took the time, made the time to be on this quick call tonight. My name is Chrissy, and Brianna and I are co-captaining the team for this year. And I just wanted to take a quick minute and introduce you guys to Kaylee. Kaylee lives down in Long Beach, but she is a total Santa Barbara girl. She went to UCSB. She actually was a Young Life leader and did Young Life in our Oceanhills loft that we used to have on State Street. So she is like our people. And when I was taking a moment this morning and asking God to give me some words to share with you about Kaylee, the words humble, passionate, perseverant, and joy came to me. And so I want to introduce you to our amazing Team World Vision Los Angeles director, Kaylee. Take it away, girl. Whoop, whoop.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to see your faces. The only negative thing about seeing your faces on here is that it means that I'm not with you in person, and I would give anything to be with you in person right now. It's been a crazy year, and if I was there, then I could also grab, I don't know, I'm trying to think of all the backyard bowls and for all the things that I could get in Santa Barbara if I was there with you guys in person. But yes, I love Santa Barbara. I love Oceanhills, and I miss it a lot. But I'm so excited to be with you guys today. But the first thing I wanted to start off with was just going over what Oceanhills has done for clean water for kids in the Congo over the years. And I wanted you guys to see this breakdown because I think it's so powerful when you look at it over the course of the years and the number of, and I said this earlier, I had to change it to the word world changers because I couldn't just leave it at runners or walkers because Oceanhills even has people who are like, well, I can't run or walk. I'm going to bike. I'm going to ride 100 miles, which is just absolutely incredible. And this is how many people ran or walked or biked cycled every single year. But when you break it down, I pulled the numbers and it was over 300 individual people. Like that's including if you take out people who did it multiple years. I mean, over 300 individual people. This is more than a church that's like, yeah, cool, clean water is important. This is a movement coming out of Oceanhills, a movement of people getting clean water for life. Totals up to over $1 million, 20,000 kids with clean water for life because of your church, because you're incredible leaders, because of your team captains, because of you guys, because of the people who've said yes. Or maybe this is your first year and you're here to support, and you've always supported, and this is the first year you're like, I'm going to dive in. It takes a whole church to take on this kind of movement, and we're just so thankful to be a part of this with you guys. And so you guys kind of know that how Team World Vision works is we go to churches and we ask people who are not runners to run marathons for clean water. But this year in 2020, churches stopped meeting in person. And we're looking back to like July, August, October, when churches are kind of like, what are we doing? What is going to happen? And then on top of that, marathons stopped happening. So all of a sudden we have churches that are not meeting in person and marathons that are not happening. And it really forced us to evaluate not what we do, but why we do it. The important thing is to keep the main thing through and through, no matter what it looks like moving forward. So because we believe God is calling us to bring clean water, we're going to talk about what's the main thing and how do we achieve it. And friends, the need for clean water is greater than it has ever been. 150 million people are expected to fall back into poverty in 2021 because of the secondary effects of COVID-19 and the way that it is just wreaking havoc on economies around the whole entire world and on communities. And then COVID by itself is scary. But then when you take the secondary effects that come with COVID, it's expected that the secondary impacts from COVID-19 will actually put more children's lives at risk than COVID-19 itself in the vulnerable communities like the one that we run for because of things like a lack of access to healthcare. because of a fear of actually going to the healthcare clinics, because of a fear of contracting COVID, because of decrease in immunizations because parents are not taking their kids to the healthcare clinics, because of malnutrition, and how intricately malnutrition is actually linked to clean water. Experts estimate that half of malnutrition is from diarrhea, because people are not able to hold on to their nutrients when they have diarrhea. And diarrhea, the cause of diarrhea is dirty water and people not having access to clean water. And when your body's malnourished, you don't have a strong immune system to fight off diseases like COVID-19 or other diseases that are constantly present in children's lives. So we know that the need is just greater than ever. And then when we look at our need here at home as well, we're isolated, we're at home all day. 10 out of 10 articles on Google say that exercise is a way to improve mental health, and 8 out of 10 mentioned having a purpose or giving to others. So just getting outside of ourselves, just getting outside. And definitely, I think I'm starting to see, we've started training and see just that act of getting outside of the house physically just changes things in our own minds and in our own hearts, and reminds us of what we're doing. This is a picture of a woman named Agnes right here on the left-hand side. And when I was in Zambia in 2018, I had the chance to visit this medical clinic where she worked. And Agnes was the only healthcare provider in her area. She would see up to 80 patients a day by herself. And this medical clinic did not have access to clean water, did not have access to water. Agnes herself had to walk to get water and see up to 80 patients a day. There's no way to safely wash your hands in between patients. Just the risk that Agnes was putting herself and that every person had, because Agnes was doing the very best that she could. When we asked one of our other World Vision staff members who was with us on this trip, she asked Agnes, like, how did you do it? How did you see so many patients a day? And Agnes looked at us like, I don't know what kind of question that is. Her response was, I don't know. It was just, and it was so profound in the way that Agnes did what she had to do. She did what God was calling her to do because she was the only one who could do it at that time. I'm very happy to say that World Vision did come in and they built a whole entire new health clinic that has running clean water now. So this clinic is up and running and doing very, very well at the time. But just thinking of how we now understand what it means for our healthcare system to be strained at a different level than I think we've ever understood before at a personal way, where it's scary to think about what if you needed healthcare and you didn't have access to it, or you couldn't get to it, or what does that look like in the ways that water is related to healthcare and providing good healthcare. And I think it's very, very easy to think that we're in the middle of a pandemic, we're stuck in our house every single day, that we can't do anything right now. It's very easy to get trapped in the message of, I'm stuck in my house, I'm just trying to survive this next year, I'm just trying to get through. But friends, the message that we can't do anything in the middle of this is a lie. It is a lie. We can change our own circumstances, and we can change circumstances for kids in the Congo and around the world by saying yes to doing things like moving our feet and stepping outside our front door each day. I'm reading a book right now. Well, I just finished it actually. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. I'm not going to read the whole quote, but this is by a man who is a psychiatrist and a neurologist who is also a Holocaust survivor. If you haven't read it, I recommend reading it. Just very interesting perspective, because he knew what he was seeing and the way people's minds were working in the middle of a concentration camp. And he argues that in order to actually find ourselves, to find our meaning, to find what we're doing, the only way to do it is to actually look outside of yourself. And I think right now, more than ever, I personally need to get out of myself and to focus on what's happening outside of this little wall and world office that I've created in my house, a way to get out of here. So how do we do it? How do we do it when there's no marathons that can be done, when things are getting canceled left and right? What do we do? What does that look like for a team like ours? Well, the 7-day 6K. The 7-day 6K, yes, it is the distance of a full marathon over the course of a week. 7 times 6 is 42K. That's the distance of a full marathon split up over the week, but it's more than that. The 7-day 6K is 6 kilometers a day for 7 days in a row. And 6 kilometers is the distance that women and children walk every single day for dirty water. We're joining our global neighbors in their steps from our own front door, from our own neighborhood. We're joining them in their 6 kilometers in what is a week for us, but could change the rest of their lives because they will no longer have to walk that 6 kilometers. Taking that step out the door. And for us, we're walking in our neighborhoods, but for these women and children, that walk is a daily risk for their lives. It puts them at risk for human trafficking, for animal attacks, and for so many diseases from the water itself. So we're joining our brothers and sisters across the world in solidarity 7 days in a row. And when we first started to talk about this, we're like, but we're Team World Vision. We go farther. We go farther together. 6K isn't going. Am I frozen? Or am I good? Did you guys lose me?
You were a little glitchy.
Okay. How are we doing now?
You're good now.
Okay. Let me know if I am, because I've got 2 computers going here, so I can swap out if needed. So the 6 kilometer walk every single day, 7 days. So this is March 21st through March 27th, 6 kilometers a day, every day for a week. And we can end the walk for our global neighbors around the world. What does it look like to do this? I know it can seem intimidating. 6 kilometers is just a little under 4 miles. Where am I going to find the time to walk 6 kilometers a day for 7 days in a row? What does that look like when kids are in school? And what does that mean? And I think what we're looking at is normally we go farther in distance, but I think farther is maybe we're going farther together, but in a different direction, like deeper. What does it actually mean to do 6 kilometers a day in distance? And how do we fit that into our schedule? What does that look like? And that is the invitation for this year's event. So March 21st through Saturday, March 27th. This is this week's training plan. So today's would be 2.5 miles. Tomorrow would be 3 miles. But I want to just kind of comfort you if you're not at that point yet. This is a very grace-filled training plan. We're looking at something a little different. Normally we're looking at a half marathon or a full marathon. So if you miss a day or 2 here or there, if you'd like to walk, that's absolutely okay. So kind of take a look at this. This is this week's training plan where we're picking up in the training plan as of right now. So today would be 2.5 miles and tomorrow would be 3. So walking, running, maybe kids want to join along. It's definitely a family-friendly event, a way for us to all get out the door every single day. And then, of course, the reason why we're doing this is to bring money so that kids have clean water around the world. And this is I'm not going to lie, you guys, this is a crazy year to say yes. This is a crazy year to say yes. And so because of that, we want to set a God-sized goal. God is the one who got us here so far. It's the reason that I believe all of us are on this call, because he's tugging on our hearts to say yes to this. So set a God-sized goal. Yes, the $2,000 is the minimum amount that you can set your goal at, but your credit card will not be charged if you don't raise the $2,000. We just know that when people set higher goals, they raise more money. And I want to say that this $50 number, this is the number that got me involved in Team World Vision. I ran the LA Marathon before I ever got involved with Team World Vision in 2014. It was one of those horribly hot years. And I don't know why people do this. What is happening? And then World Vision came to my church in 2016 and invited me to run the Long Beach Marathon. And when I heard this $50 number, I thought if I could raise $50 a mile that I run, then it's worth it. It's even the hot and horrible days that I had on that 2014 day. And I had much better marathons, so don't be scared away from the marathon forever. But it was horrible at that day. But that $50 number, I was like, I can do that. I can get on board. So that number is important to me. It means a lot. It's the reason that I'm here. So how do you join the team? You can go to teamworldvision.org/LA. and you can take out your phone to take a picture, or we'll send out an email with the link as well later, teamworldvision.org/LA. You join the team. The current race registration for the 7-day 6K is $50. And we also have a child registration that's $20. That's for kids under the age of 12. So 11 and under is the child registration. That's $20. And then you'll want to take a look here. This slide is here just for logistics. For some reason, our system, sometimes if you have run before, it just defaults you to the participant type that you ran in before. There's a little blue button here that says change. Oceanhills is really focusing on these 7-day 6K adult and child options. So you'll want to make sure you find those as you're registering, and choose either the adult or the child 7-day 6K marathon option as you're kind of clicking through and registering for the race. Training resources, there actually is a brand new training plan specifically for the 7-day 6K. So it means some of those longer, like 10-mile runs have been cut back so that specifically for the 7-day 6K, and it's been adjusted for, you know, the number of days, because you'll want to be preparing for moving your body 7 days in a row. And then tons of fundraising resources, all available once you get your page set up. And joining the team just means I'm going to try my best to train and fundraise. Like I said, there's lots of grace in this plan. It's been a crazy hard year, and we know that we all need a little grace in many different areas right now. So because of that, because it's been a crazy hard year, the saying "go farther together" in Swahili, that's Twende Mbale Pamoja. Pamoja, this has been a season of Pamoja, a season of being together, even though we can't be physically together. We're physically apart, but a season of being together. So for all adult registrations, 12 and up, once you raise your first $100 and register for the 7-day 6K, while supplies last, which they should be good at the moment, but we'll let you guys know if they're starting to dwindle. But while supplies last, we'll send you this Pamoja jacket, so we can all be twinning and be together, even if we're apart. And then for the kiddos, if you're 11 and under, we have t-shirts that will be coming out once they raise that $100. That would be for anyone who's 11 and under. But all in all, we just want to say that we're so thankful for you guys and for all that you've done and continue to do. And always have to get a shout out to your 2 team captains, who are just absolutely incredible and have done so much. And I always share this, but I remember back before I ever knew Brianna, and I was in a Facebook group, and she was always putting stuff in this Facebook group for other leaders and captains. And there are things that I've done that got me to raise thousands of dollars because of tips that I got from her. So it just, like, before I even knew her in person. So I'm so thankful for your captains. If you join the team by Wednesday night, you can get $5 off of race registration using the code PAMOJA. And that's good for the child registration too. So if you're registering a family, those $5 could add up quickly. I'm going to hang out here if you guys have any questions, and I know Brianna and Chrissy may want to add something in. So otherwise, that is the information for the 7-day 6K, and we cannot wait to get the season started and just see the way that God's going to work through a